Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Harmony protocol and specifically the price action of the OneCoin. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another crypto update. And guys, it's my pleasure to say that this video has been sponsored by Crypto.com. Crypto.com is the world's fastest growing crypto app. With Crypto.com, you can, of course, buy and trade your cryptocurrency at the true cost. This is fantastic, specifically if you're going to be dollar cost averaging good positions. You can deposit your crypto and earn a nice, juicy interest and making your crypto work for you. Do sign up today. There is a link down below, and in doing so, by signing up and applying for their debit card, you will be able to be eligible for a $25 bonus. So do check it out, Crypto.com. I use this application every day. It is fantastic, and that debit card that you're able to get with Crypto.com can be used to basically spend cryptocurrency, but also earn a cashback as well. So do check it out if you haven't done so already. Right, with that said, done and out of the way, let's actually dive into some technical analysis on what is going on here with Harmony One, right? Because on this weekly chart here, we can see that we are paired with USDT. And we are using Binance as the data source. And everything really kind of kick-started down here in March of 2020 and peaked up in 2021 of March, right? So what you saw here was basically 18,943% in very juicy gains, okay? No bank that I'm aware of will offer you those kind of returns. Now, obviously, depending on where you have been buying Harmony, you may have been buying at the top of the third wave and you've seen nothing but a decrease, right? And basically, we're coming down into this accumulation zone at the bottom here, and we've seen significant growth right now, pushing the price back up in a decent recovery. But there are some things that we need to be aware of, and we're going to get into that in a moment on the most recent kind of few hours. Now, during this whole motion to the upside, whether you were buying at the lows before the bull run really started, or the low of wave 2, or even just some of these dips areas around here, right? So Chris always, looks for these red days when he buys. I personally look for the accumulation zones around the bottom of these waves. No matter what your strategy is, if you've been accumulating, there's going to be some good heights coming, as the Fibonacci extension of the 4.236 does show about 77 cents or so on the Harmony chart. But again, I do like to think that we could go after that $1 theoretical limit as well for Harmony. So when we actually, really think about where things are going, we're going to close Q3 pretty strongly. I think we're going to go into Q4 very well, and I think we'll close Q4 at some fantastic heights for Harmony. So let's jump down into that daily view. This is where we can see the Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay, and again, this kind of tops out there about 79.7 cents. So we can see that there. And obviously, I'll put the fifth wave just at the dollar level as a bit of an extension on that one there. So again, there's plenty of progress to be made to the upside. But obviously, before we talk about that, there are a few things that have been going on most recently. And obviously, we need to be aware of what these are, because this is an area that we've been trading in. Okay, this yellow box area here. For those people who have been watching the channel and watching these updates will know that this is the area of the 618, 702 and the 786 on the Fibonacci retracement, okay? Taking the high over here from the 18th of May and the low down here, which was on the 22nd of June. That Fibonacci extension from this correction here, this Fibonacci retracement here, does indicate that this is the area that's going to be the major kind of block. Now, this is an area that we've been battling before previously, right? We had the bounce from here, and we were unable to get the close candle above that area, right? And what you saw was basically a rejection from the 702 and the 618, right? And basically that took us down to these low areas, right? And from there, what we're seeing now is rebattling this area. But we are also in amongst a bit of a correction, right? So we had a red day yesterday, we got a green day today. I think at the point of recording this video, we're about 3% in the green. But ultimately, what we're looking for after this correction is a push to the upside. Now, we've seen the daily stochastic relative strength index get corrected, right? It's pulled down, and now we're looking to push the price up with the stochastic, right? So we're looking to push the stochastic and the momentum back to the upside, and obviously start to see some good progress. Now, the other thing that's really important to acknowledge is what's going on in the background. We can see that Harmony One from the 𝗲 dashboard here has actually gone down from A3 to B1, okay? So it's actually dropped a position. That would have happened at midnight last night. So that's not going to be the strongest kind of tell for Harmony. So it's important that we do acknowledge that the artificial intelligence, the machine learning with 𝗲, is indicating a bit of a problem. We've slipped down a little bit. But again, that's going to be testament to the fact that we've seen a couple of days of red, and today we're starting to see green. So it's going to be key to see what that artificial intelligence tells us tomorrow, or specifically at midnight tonight, as to whether or not the rating actually goes back up, up into the A3 ratings, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this down to the next level, right? What's been going on most recently on these hourly candles. Now, this is where things really start to heat up and become interesting. We can see that we are, of course, overbought. So we are looking for a correction here, right? We're going to be pulling the stochastic to the downside. We'll throw the volumes on. We can see that there was good growth in the volume. So the good sentiment was there, right? We started to see some good buying volume. And as we started to see a correction in the last couple of hours, we can see that the volumes actually dropped. So the sentiment is there, right? We've got good positive volume as the price moves up, and then there's not many people selling and the volumes decrease whilst we have a correction. Now, that's opposite to what we saw over here with an increasing selling volume higher and greater than the buying volume, okay? So even though we were pushing up just over here, that was basically when we started to see a decline. So that helped basically push the price down to where it's gotten to. Now, let's actually take a look at those candles because there is a downward trend appearing, okay? So we can see that basically we're battling up against the 786 around this area here, right? And we're rejected from it. And we basically started to see some interesting selling volume happening here. It wasn't anything major at this point, but it lost the 702, and this is basically the correction here. So we can see that we're going into the overbought area, hitting that 702, and then getting rejected and strong selling volume, taking the price down below the 618. Okay, and that's kind of where we've started to see us now try to rally back up again. We started to see the volume decrease and the sentiment change, and we started to see good sentiment on the way back up here. So again, that's actually taken us to this overbought area, and basically we had a couple of sells and seller volumes, a couple of hours, and that took us right the way back down to the oversold, and now we're back up in the overbought area. So what we're looking for here is a complete decrease in volume on the next few hours, drop out that volume, and basically correct this stochastic down to the oversold area in the same way that we saw over here, but without the volume behind it. If we can do that, we can go down to the oversold area, then maybe take out this new trend line that's formed. Okay, so the support line that we're really wanting to kind of make sure holds is 10.8 cent. And that's the orange line just here, okay? So that's currently been tested and worked for us. It's okay. But my worry here is that basically we'll lose 10.8. If we lose 10.8, then I think we should be looking down to 10.1 on the 𝗲𝗓𝗪 side. So basically that would be a decrease to here, get us to the oversold area, and then look for the bounce. Now, the interesting thing which comes from this is basically this downward trend will meet this area here, okay? And it's all about those technicals and the sentiment in the space. If we lose this triangular wedge and we do fall to the downside here, then ultimately this is the triangular wedge that we want to be focusing in on, because this will see the break to the upside, hopefully. Okay, now, of course, we could stay inside this area with good sentiment, and that should help break us out of this downward trend. Okay, so the downward trend at the moment is an interesting one. I don't tend to like trend lines because they are quite weak, but this one has a lot of touch points onto them, so it's a pretty strong trend line to the downside. But we have got good strong support lines as well. Okay, so this support line that's being tested right now is being a support and resistance. Again, a support here, resistance over here, and we're trying to turn it into a support line. If we can turn this into a support line and get that break to the upside, invalidate our downward trend, that could take us up to 11.4, maybe a little bit beyond that. If, however, we do lose that 10.8, then ultimately we should be looking to fall down towards the 10.1 cent area. Or specifically, if we take a look at some of these other key areas, I will draw another one on here. There's quite a few different supports, but they're all variants in strength, okay? So we'll take a look at this one. I think it's about here. It's around this area here. This comes in at 10.4, etc. So we have to be mindful that there's quite a few areas of support, and some are going to be stronger than others. For me personally, 10.1 is a stronger one, but we could see a bounce from some of these more slightly weaker support lines. Like, for example, there's a good one just down here, right? This is a support line at 10.2 cent. And again, this was a previous resistance line over here. So I'll be very cautious over this, but there's definitely seems to be quite a lot of support down at this lower end, when not so much at this top end here, okay? So really trying to see what happens in the next few hours on 𝗲𝗪𝗪. There's lots to play for. Triangular wedge is being formed on this downward trend, so we should be looking to capitalize on all of the corrections that we start seeing. Or if we are any good breaks to the upside, we should also look to see where the next levels of resistance are, and that would be 11.4, as this was a previous area of support that's been broken. Okay, so there's quite a bit to play for, guys, on the 𝗲𝗪𝗪 charts. Obviously, we had good progress most recently as we pushed back up here to these areas, retesting this 786 area of the Fibonacci and getting rejected from it, as we had done previously, and quite a few times over here as well. Okay, so right now there's a lot to play for. We want to invalidate the downward trend. We don't want that to last, so we'll be watching over these triangular wedges as they start to form. But again, guys, this is the short-term plays. It's important that we do obviously check out what goes on the daily, knowing that this is the area that we're being rejected from, but we're also getting a good correction on our stochastic daily chart. And again, if you're ever in doubt, do zoom all the way out to that weekly, because this is where the big play is happening. You can get sometimes too drowned out by looking at the hourlies, the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes, when the bigger play is, of course, going up towards that 79 cent to the dollar level. And again, you know, we're looking at the weekly chart for that. So if you're ever in doubt, do zoom out and you'll get a good big macro picture of what is actually going on. Guys, hopefully you have found this brief update on Harmony useful and informative. If you have, then do go ahead and hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that is going on with the Harmony One protocol. Right, with that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.